snake charmer, but just as a Canadian person, that this life is a game of snakes and ladders, where time to time you are going to be bitten by these snakes like death in the family, unemployment, divorces, separations, some kind of thing which will bite you, break your comfort zone and throw into the deep depressions. And then with time, you take the right ladders and come up with your mindful choices and conscious decisions. But not many people come out. And that was my story at the first MoMondays. 5 years back, I was looking as an Indian speaker or a first immigrant, I was looking for stages, the gyms, the rings of speakers where I could share my wisdom, my conscious of creating a successful, happy and peaceful life. That's what I was looking for. And I got introduced to MoMondays. I attended the show. Michelle Nire was the MC. It was not even a year Michelle was running. I believe I saw the first show in January 2013 and Michelle started the show in 2012. So it was very new. I went into the show and I was amazed seeing the enthusiasm of the speakers sharing their pain, fear, story, lessons, what they have been through as a story. And not only that, making other people think about out of the box while they are listening to a story. How they could come out from their hole while having good dinner and of course the drinks, which were motivational for the audience as well as for the speaker. So in that environment, we created MoMondays, giving opportunity to every speaker speaking their heart, come up with the authentic stories. I finished the show, went home and realized that probably this is the place I should speak, and I filled up the form. As soon as I hit the button submit, I had started having the butterflies in my stomach. I was nervous, and many of the speakers of MoMondays may have gone through the same thing what I have been through. I was very nervous, conscious. Many a times I was thinking I'll just give a phone call and say like I cannot do it. I have never holded an open mic. I have never been trained as a trainer. I'm just a natural person who comes and who wants to speak his heart. That's it. So I went to Michelle next day and I extended my interest that how I could become a speaker. He gave me some tips. He wanted to sell me the video also, which is still there. And I had that contract signed. And then I spoke at the MoMondays. And I was not very good speaker, I can tell you. That video is still on because I paid $500. I said, let it go up there. I've never taken it down. Because it always reminds me that this is from where I started. This was my beginning, wherever I am standing today. But that is my footage. That's my place. And I wanted to keep that intact. And it is still going on and give me a lot of confidence in terms of my progressive growth. So I asked Michelle, I said, Michelle, any tips? And he gave me all the tips what he could, and I stood. But believe me, as soon as I spoke, I vanished from the hall. I was not able to stand there because I was so nervous. And Michelle was calling my name, and there is a ceremony after speaking assignments. Every speaker has to come on the stage and say thank you. And I'm positive when Michelle was calling my name, I was already above 401, going towards Toggle. I just vanished. I didn't want to see anyone. I was so nervous. And you know like how the speaking sickness is after you speak. Like what could have done, what should have done. And in that could and should, I reached even Toggle. Next morning I called again Michelle. I said, I would like to meet you. And I went to see him in his home. I saw struggling, bald Michelle, looks like Blue Man Show's cousin, but not having the color blue, with a dimple on his face and twinkle in his eyes. That's how I found Michelle Nire in that basement. After talking to him, probably for half an hour, 45 minutes, I was so much impressed when I looked at him that this is a great dream. I wish and hope I could have this dream or project and I could take it to my community where people have stories of immigration. What else could be more difficult than the story of an immigrant? And I thought like this could have been one of the things which need to be in Brampton to take the stress out, to just share and make other people's life comfortable by giving them a route, by giving them the tools and tips that their life could be successful and happy in the shortest possible time. This is amazing. So I looked at Michel, and without even his consent, I said, I am going to help this guy. I come from an Indian background where teachers find the pupil, teacher find the students. I said, in case if I call myself as a teacher, and if Michel is lacking in any of the skill, and I could fulfill, that would be the amazing thing I have done for anyone in my life. I asked him in case if I could take this to Brampton, because unless and until I'm not being involved in it, I cannot do anything. So I said, can I take the show to Brampton? And that's how we got the franchise agreement, and we opened the first in Brampton. But before I did that, the most challenging thing for me was to have the confidence whether I could do it or not. So there were three MoMondays, one in Oakville, another in Mississauga, and another one in Bailey where I spoke. Those were already operational, which gave me enough courage. And then I came to my brother Dave. I said, David, we have a project. Would you be interested to co-host with me? Something coming out of the blue, even Dave was not ready because Dave was an MC. And I'm saying, Dave, it is another assignment which you could add on. I always saw a dream that Dave Barnwell one day will be MC in the Indian community. That was my dream, and I thought that this is one of the opportunity for both of us. I want to do something for my community, and you live here. This will make everybody happy. And Dave agreed. And Susan Fennell was kind enough. We both loved Susan. Susan was mayor at that time. We went to her, and she agreed to become the first MoMonday speaker. Just give a big round of applause for Susan, who has served so many years. She was an amazing speaker, and we kept the first stone for MoMondays in the Irish part. We ran 11 shows, had about 60 speakers, and it was amazing and fun. We keep on doing it until we could contribute in the progressive growth of MoMondays because we loved the concept. Until one day we were exhausted because I was coming from Stouffville and Dave was getting married soon. So we stopped. But even today, when I think about MoMondays, I can think only about Michel's dream. I can think about the speakers I have spoken, including Jennifer Beale, who was with me in Mississauga. I can think about the struggle of those speakers who share their pain on the stage and become vulnerable in front of everyone when we are being told not to share our problems with anyone. But this was an amazing stage where people could come as a spiritual experience, even talking about their problem. It was not only fun, but it made me as a great speaker by just seeing the speakers who were in front of me. Just imagine in 10 months seeing 60 speakers. You will automatically become, they will rub you so badly that even if you do not want, you will become a speaker. And that's what happened to me. But in this story, I will tell you the three things which were very, very important for me. Number one, everyone lives their life. But when you live life for someone else, it's a different experience. I do not know if my community will understand today what we did 4 or 5 years back, but I know it one day they will appreciate the efforts which we put without any interest, without any personal benefits. We just wanted to do something for that. I also realized during my speaking assignment that if you want to become something, you just throw yourself out. I remember the time when I holded my my first time in Toronto. That was different. But I was there. Because I knew it, unless and until I am not vulnerable, I am not being defeated, I will not go to the next step. And these two things became very, very important in that process of taking MoMondays to be a waiver. And the last thing where I was very, very conscious was the preparation part. That we did not jump onto MoMondays, and it is my suggestion to any entrepreneur or person who's changing the life, that don't jump into something until you are 100% ready, until you know it from here that you can do it. I wish this experience, which has not only made me a better human being, or gave the stage for others to become better human beings, but I wish that one day we all witness the biggest storyteller from the stage of MoMondays. That's my utmost wish. Thank you very much.